Welcome to Cringe and Crumble, the podcast where we dive into real-life experiences and raw, unfiltered conversations about life, dating, and relationships.
Join us as we share our own stories with those of our guests that will inspire you to connect with others in a new light. Whether it's overcoming heartbreak,
navigating the dating world,
or finding new ways to live in your truth,
we've got you covered. So buckle up and let's get ready to
cringe and crumble.
Woo!
Well, hello, Vanessa.
Hi, Tradisha.
I feel like I sound so nasally. I don't know why.
No.
I'm excited for this episode because this is really interesting.
Yeah, I have like a whole outline on this.
No, it really does. I'm like, this is going to be a great episode because this one we're actually talking about cheating, like hardcore. We're talking. The title of this episode is called "The Gray Areas of Cheating: What Really Constitutes Infidelity." Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to touch on the gray areas of infidelity and discuss the different behaviors and actions that could potentially be considered cheating.
Yes.
So let's start off first. I like to say, what is infidelity? Infidelity involves physical and emotional connections with someone outside one's partnership with others without the other's consent. So
Right.
that is completely the definition of what I think infidelity is.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating. It's the same word we use interchangeably. What do you say? Tell me your thoughts on this because you really did come prepared. She got like a book report. I'm excited about this.
Well, I mean, cheating is just it's a form of betrayal. Any form of betrayal, I feel, it's a violation of that trust that you have with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to result in consequences that can affect the relationship, and
Of course.
it can affect it pretty bad. Once you have that feeling or once the cheating happens, whether, and we can talk about different kinds of cheating, but once it happens, like, you're taking more than one step back. You're taking
Of
a
course,
couple back.
because once you lose
Mhm.
trust in a relationship, that is the foundation of a relationship. You basically don't have nothing left after that because
Yeah.
if you can't trust someone,
Mhm.
what is there? There's nothing.
Right.
And to try to rebuild that is an uphill battle. That's basically you running up a down escalator
Yeah.
to try to get back into that person's good graces to where they can actually trust you and not bring up that same situation over and
Mhm.
over again
Mhm.
and rebuild that foundation that
Yeah.
was once upon a time probably really strong.
Right. And the only way to go up that down escalator is to keep working at it, get
Mhm.
stronger, get strong. So, it's really hard. Like there's a cheating situation, it's really, really hard to come back from that. It takes a
Mhm.
lot of work.
And
And it's
And I was going
really
to say,
bad. Mhm.
don't want to cut you off, but it requires work from both parties, and you both have to
Yeah.
really want to work on it. It's not just that person that cheated;
Yeah.
it's also you, because mentally, the victim in this situation, mentally, you may be a little skewed, and you
Right.
think that it doesn't affect you, but it affects both of you,
It affects every one of you,
Mhm.
everybody that's involved.
even that third person.
The third person, the children, everybody, like, just from one action, from one person, it can create, so much more hard work in this lifetime for no reason. And it creates it for everybody.
It's a ripple effect.
Completely.
That's that you can't take back.
Yeah. I actually looked up a study online on, the Journal of Marriage and Family, and they actually stated that 31% of marriages actually ended in divorce because of cheating. And there's another study that was published on archives of sexual behaviors that showed that 65% of couples that had cheating involved remained together. So I thought that was interesting. There was two different studies, but there was two different perspectives.
Mm.
It's interesting to see, the percentage be a little higher, honestly, in my opinion, than what I thought would be 65% to, of people remaining together.
But then opposed to the 31% of marriages that ended
It-
in divorce because of cheating.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Two different studies, but the numbers,
I
it's
guess
a
it also
lower.
just depends on too what their how many people were in the study, right? That's always
Yeah.
skews the numbers because it
Right.
could be from 100 people to 1,000 people to kind of
Right.
really kind of see how the study actually works itself out. But
Mhm.
that is quite interesting.
Mhm.
And we'll probably get into this, but I think that's something that you can work through.
Mhm.
Have that ever happened to me? No, not that I know of, and good thing no one ever told me about it.
Wait,
Um,
that you've never been cheated
Cheated
on?
on, yes.
Oh, you're lucky.
So yes, so I'm sure you have great stories on there. But I
They're
think
not
like
great.
even if it does, and yeah, cheating's never great, but if something like this does come into the relationship, I feel as though you can probably work through it if you really want to, and if that's what something that you both want. But once again, it has to be on both ends, right? And not just
Mhm.
on one person, and it can't just be one sided. So with that being said, I guess let's just jump into what counts as cheating, right?
Yeah. What do you think it counts as cheating?
Um, like the obvious ones, like sleeping with somebody else when we're together in a monogamous relationship.
Yeah. Sleeping
Um,
or kissing even. I feel like kissing's still cheating.
I mean, I mean, that counts as yeah, that counts too. Any other intimate type of things, kissing or having sex with that person, that's all cheating. Like, why? Hey, well, who else are you kissing?
Uh.
Like, I need to know
Yeah.
who you kissing. Like, why you
Yeah.
kissing? I mean, that's cheating. Like, who's out here
Mhm.
kissing people and thinking that it's not cheating? I need to please
Yeah.
contact us because I want to understand your whole thought process. If you think that I just kiss someone else, it doesn't count as cheating. Oh, that does count as cheating because as your partner, I'm your only partner. I mean, none unless they're in a relationship that requires more people. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
well,
in a
that's
monogamous
that's
relationship,
not this conversation
no,
here.
that is called cheating.
Yeah, I mean, it's either one, like, whether it's a sexual, like, betrayal or just a kissing betrayal, they're both pretty painful no matter what level of
Yeah,
betrayal it is, it's really
yeah, because
painful. Yeah, it's like a
you're
form of
getting intimate with someone else that's not you,
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
What else do you
How
think
about,
counts as
like,
cheating?
texting or flirting with someone, like, texting at somebody else?
So this is when we're getting into emotional cheating, right? So if you're
Mhm.
texting with someone else, I don't think it's cheating, but it depends on what those text messages are.
Right.
If it's someone I don't know about and you're cheating, I mean, you're texting that person behind my back and I've never heard of that person. Let's say, for
Mhm.
instance, like I think I was telling you about this before. Like, we all work, you do office jobs, and we like to call what we have work husband and my work wife, right?
Mhm,
Because you're
mhm.
with that person 8 hours out of your life and you spend a lot of time with them and you do exchange text messages. But 9 times out of 10, that spouse knows about that person. But if you are texting that person more often than you should be without your spouse knowing, that's cheating.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay, you're like, "I'm gonna go to a happy hour with X, Y, and Z," like, I'm not like, "Oh my god," I'm like, "Cool," because I know this person, I know of this person, and I know their life just because you've told me about it, but if you are, like, all hours of night, next to you know, you're texting your work wife, like, and it's not work
Yeah,
related, we got a
yeah.
whole problem.
Yeah, yeah,
How about
yeah.
you?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious, like, pictures, explicit messages, that's obvious cheating. It's maybe they've never done anything, but you're emotionally cheating right there. The over communication, like what you had mentioned, just like talking to my work husband or something, uh, like limit it. Like if it's necessary to text me outside of work, okay, fine. But like to make it a habit all the time, again,
Of course,
going
yeah.
back to that, we're not best friends. You know what I
No.
mean?
And if that's what's happening, that's when you know that's an emotional cheating right there, right?
Right,
And I
right.
think you're right with the obvious. If you're sending people explicit photos of yourself via text and you're, you know, asking them like that's of course that's cheating. That's just
Yeah,
emotional
like, do you like
cheating.
my outfit?
Right? And you're sending, like, bikinis or, like,
Yeah.
nude photos. That's
Mhm.
emotionally cheating. You didn't physically sleep with that person, but you literally are emotionally in your brain fantasizing about what it would be like to be with
Mhm.
that person.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Um,
How about, like, having, like, dating apps on your phone?
I don't think having dating apps on your phone is quote unquote cheating, but it is something a conversation that you need to have once you get into the relationship. Because it's
Yeah,
like, when do you delete the
definitely.
dating apps? Because a lot of us get super like forgetful and that we even have the dating apps on our phone, and it just
Mhm.
sometimes you just forget they're there and they're just back there doing their own thing. But then it's a conversation that you probably should have up front if you're going to be in this monogamous relationship, that okay, we are together, delete your dating apps. If you feel like one day if you go home and you're like, I see Hinge on your phone, what are you doing? And you're like, I totally forgot I even have Hinge, and I still have dating apps on my phone. I don't use them, but they
Mhm.
are still in the background running and taking all my data from Apple. But I should
Yeah,
probably delete them, but they're still there. How about
right.
you?
Yeah, I think it's yeah, definitely it's in a relationship, it's important to have the conversation, just like, "Hey, I'm actually, like, deleting my apps. Like, I forgot that I had them, but I'm deleting them. I'm just letting you know, like, I don't know if you still have them and that person can admit or not, but I think it's important to have the conversation around it,
Mhm.
because I think, like, keeping the app on your phone, and it's not just keeping the app, it's not just deleting it, it's deleting the profile, you know what I mean? Like, the whole profile has to go.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Like,
when you delete, like
like
you're deleting the app
like,
and
not
your
just the
profile
app on, like, it's just you have to go into settings,
and say delete account.
delete account, and this is gonna ask you, "Are you sure?" And it's like, "Yes," and like, "Are you really sure? We have a special."
Yes. No, like delete, like, cause
Absolutely.
no, they can delete the app all day and it could be on their other Apple device or other Android
True,
device. And
exactly.
it's just like, oh, it's not there, but it's sitting on
Mhm.
my iPad, you know?
Yeah.
But no, that's true. Like you said, you gotta go through all the different thousand steps just because they're
Yeah.
giving freebie offers, but you're together with me and we should be happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And it's probably good to have the conversation a little bit sooner rather than later once you're, like,
If you're
you're confident,
considering,
when you're
yeah.
confident in the relationship.
Yeah, you're just gonna go to the
Don't
next
wait too
place.
long.
No, just get that out of the just rip the Band-Aid off. You already slept with that person probably anyway, so just ask
Mhm.
them, just delete your apps.
Yeah.
That's nothing gonna hurt you.
I
Uh
have an interesting one. You beat me to the punch. I have a good one.
Uh,
Is going to a strip club cheating?
no, no, it's not.
I don't
No,
know.
I've gone to strip clubs. I will go with a boyfriend to go to strip clubs. It's not cheating. He's not sleeping with the woman. It's just a form of entertainment
But what if they go by themselves?
by themselves with their boys.
Either or, by themselves or by themselves with their boys.
You go with the boys all day. I don't care. You can go to the strip club. Just don't. I have trust in this person.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if he's going by himself, I'm like, well, are you okay? Are you lonely? Why are you going to the strip club by yourself? Like, do you want me to do something for you? I don't know. Whether the boys, let's say, like for bachelor weekends, like I
Yeah.
know some women get super upset. Like, you can't go to the strip club. You can do whatever you want. Just don't say. I can't say you can't. Don't do whatever you want at the strip club because then you may decide you want to get a happy ending.
Yeah.
But I know there's nothing wrong with it. I've gone to them a lot. I think they're actually quite fun because I just honestly I be analyzing like, girl, like how many calories do you think you burning up there doing that? Like I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's hard work, you know. And he's like,
How
shut
many
up.
calories?
I'm like, your leg muscles are like off the chain, but no, I think I find it as a form of entertainment. It's staying there. They're not doing anything illicit, and also the bodyguards are not. Not to tell what other strip clubs they're going to. I'm sure they're not like allowing them to do what they need to do in the back,
Unless
but
you're in Vegas.
what happens in Vegas is I don't know. But yeah, but I don't personally me, no. I'm okay if the person wants to go to the strip club. And if he go but he goes by himself, I think we need to go see a therapist or something because I'm like, why are you by yourself at the strip club?
Yeah, I think for
Uh,
me, it's more of like it's gotta be like a once in a while occasion, and then when I say once in a while, it's like not an every other, holiday. It's like literally
for a
once in a
bachelor
while.
party that's like once every 2, 3 years.
Yeah, 2, 3 years, like, not even every year. Like, you shouldn't have to go that
You don't want to
often.
go once a year if he goes to the boys to Vegas as a boys trip. You can't go once a year.
Mm, no, why? Like, why?
I don't know.
Why?
It's just a boy thing to do. I don't think he's not. I mean,
I don't know. It's just not,
I
it's like, well, so we'll get into that in a little bit because I feel like, you're just kind of, again, like, you're playing with fire. You know what I
what
mean? I feel
fine.
like you're married. I don't think that
I
is
don't think
something that I
that's
want my husband to do. That's personally for me.
no,
Like,
I think
I don't
that's
want that
great.
kind of
No,
husband.
no, I think that's great. That's to each his own. That's why I think people
Yeah.
agree to disagree. Like, you don't want your husband. If my husband wants to go with his boys once a year and they want to go to the strip club that they only go to once a year, I don't care. Go have some fun. Just get out my face.
Yeah.
Just I have trust with you, and
Mhm.
everyone has their form of entertainment. And if that's one of his forms of entertainment he finds great, I'm okay with it. I don't need to control all those aspects, and I don't there's not something that runs in my mind.
Yeah.
Like he's in the back, I don't know. He's doing the nasty thing. Like ugh, no, he's with his boys. They're probably drunk, and God knows, and they're just probably in the same spot doing nothing. So, but yeah. So we know your husband. He cannot go to the strip club except for once every 3, 4 years. So just know, any future Vanessa husband, you will not be allowed.
I don't know.
You're not gonna
It's
be
not even
having joint.
allowed. It's just like,
You're not having joint
here's the
bachelor and
thing.
bachelorette parties.
No, no, here's the thing. Like, it's not that it's not allowed. It's just more like, well, it doesn't make me feel good. Like, it's
Why
not
doesn't it make you
comfortable.
feel good?
And it's not like, I don't know. It just doesn't. You
That's
know,
fine.
it just doesn't. It just doesn't like sit well. It's just kind of entertaining, like the fantasies. You know what I mean? And it's I don't know. I don't feel like it's necessary. You know? I don't know.
So
What's
that
wrong with
makes
that? What's at home? You know?
that's
Like
no, that's nothing wrong with that. So
you
then that
know.
makes me have asked you this question. Then what do you think about porn?
Well, that's the same thing. I don't feel like
Mm,
I don't feel like why like why are you like sneaking behind my back and
well,
watching
no, he
porn? You know
probably
what I
doesn't
mean?
speak behind your back about it if he just is like, I want to
Do
just
it in, like watch it
learn
in
new
front of
things.
me?
I don't know. You guys watch it together. I don't know. People like that
No.
type of stuff. I don't know.
Mm.
No? Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. You asked the question. I just asked her a question. So let's move on to emotionally cheating then. So we're done. So we already know what kind of counts as cheating, right? The obvious signs of that. But what constitutes as emotional cheating?
Yeah. So emotional cheating, like really it's just like developing a close bond or, behaviors or confiding in someone outside of your relationship that makes you question like have that like those antennas go up, you know? It's like
'Cause so you would think like that's with like friendships, right?
right, like
Boys and
what we talked about before is like
mhm.
having that best friend of the opposite sex. I'm like, like
I
why?
did read this this cringe wedding reception where like the maid of honor she did her I don't know even know why she had a first dance, but she had her own first dance with the groom and it was to this sad song about having to let him go and
Ew.
I don't think the wife understood that what was happening there, but then the guest was like this is very awkward and she was just like crying like uncontrollably into his suit that she had to let him go because she's been harboring these emotions about how much she really loves her best friend, and now he's found someone else. And knowing him, he's a stupid. He didn't know, and she's just like, "Oh my god!" And I forget what the song was, but it was like blatantly obvious that this song was about losing the love of your life or something. So that goes back to should you be best friends? I think there's always an underlying thing where someone likes the other person. So
Jeez. You
yeah,
just yeah, I mean,
blew your mind.
yeah, that's not they were totally emotionally getting it on. Like
I don't maybe I don't know.
emotionally. I'm not even saying that they did anything like
No.
but the vibes were there for a long
She was the one
time.
crying. I don't think he was crying, but I think the wife was just like, "Okay, that's so cute." And you're
Well, he was
like,
probably the one accepting all of
"Of
the
course.
love and support from the best
Of
friend.
course." He was surrounding himself
And
with
now
everyone
she
who
has
thinks
no
him
one to give
beautiful.
love and support to because her best friend's getting married to somebody else
Yes.
that she probably doesn't like.
Of course. Crazy. So,
But
of course, you can't be with your best friend in a committed relationship.
yeah. So, like, back to, like,
Mm.
just, like, developing that bond. So, like, once you, like I think what I also wanna clarify is, like, you can't really confuse this with a traumatic distress. Like, some people have so much trauma in trust with, in relationships that they go into relationships in that in that mindset. So, for example, like I go into a relationship with somebody, but I have been cheated on left and right. I grew up in a cheating family. I that's all I've seen. And so if I go into a relationship already feeling like anxious and untrusting of my partner. The relationship can go great and my partner can be very like supportive and he's there for me. But like the minute he goes to the store, I think he's cheating. Like that's not what we're talking about. That's not emotionally cheat. That's not emotional cheating. That's just traumatic. That's like a traumatic experience that you really need to figure out. When I talk about emotional cheating, it's everything is great, everything is gravy. I'm healed, you're healed, we're all good, but then you still on the side keep doing your thing blatantly. You keep asking for the attention. You keep having these little side conversations. You keep
Yeah, so basically you're
mhm.
saying in a nutshell, you're in your Instagram messages, DMs, you're messaging someone else
Mhm.
that you find super attractive. You're
Mhm.
still talking to a friend or an ex that you should not be talking to anymore, but you're like, yeah, but we're quote unquote friends.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
you're having these great conversations
Mhm.
with someone else that's not you. And if it's emotionally like binding in a sense where I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's
It's fine.
it's not even like the yeah, it's just you can have a friend, even like let's say a neighbor, you know what I mean? It's just you can have these other
No, you have
relationships.
these other relationships, but
Yeah.
I can see where you're saying, like, it no, like, it
We just have to be really careful of not confusing like a traumatic version of you to a healthy version of you.
no, no, no,
You know
I
what
don't
I
think when
mean?
we say emotional when we say, like, you're right, no, I don't think no one's gonna think that when you say emotionally, it's traumatic. It's like, no, like, when you're having an emotional connection with someone, where it's like, when you're in a healthy
Mhm.
relationship with anyone, like, we're connected emotionally, physically, and everything, and
Mhm.
what you're taking what that other person's doing is as opposed to just keeping that emotional attachment to you, they're doing that with someone else, right? So they're giving someone every good mornings, afternoons, what are you doing? How is your day?
Yes.
They're getting those compliments from someone else and they're checking in. They should be doing that with you, which they probably are, but they're doing it with someone else. And
Right.
so that's the emotional cheating that we're saying
Y
because it's not physical, but they're basically gearing up to something that could probably turn
Right.
physical.
Yeah, and I say that because I think there could be a confusion. I think somebody, can listen and say, "Oh, well, I'm being emotionally cheated all the time, because my boyfriend, he goes to the store, he takes about 3 hours or, he's always saying hi to the neighbor." Like, there's people like that. There's people who do truly believe that that's an emotional cheating, and it's not. It's your traumatic experience that you're feeling right now.
And even if that is your traumatic experience that you're feeling, I think before you even try to get in a relationship, you got to fix that
But you don't
because
know it. You don't know again, you don't know sometimes that
because
you
then
are you were traumatized,
I mean,
and
I'm sure that person probably that other person that they're in a relationship with would probably tell them that this is unhealthy that you think because I say good morning to the neighbor next door that you think that's
well, yeah,
cheating.
it creates problems and
Yeah,
then
but no, but that
yeah,
person's telling you that this is not healthy. This is not a healthy
yeah.
dynamic.
Unless the kind of person every person that this person, you're dating ends up cheating because of it. And then all continuously validates men are scum, cheat people are, everybody's gonna cheat. And so
Well, because that's when you have a mental block in your head and you should not be dating anyone because you really got to fix
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, that's
And
that's
so
that's
that's where you're at.
logical. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I mean, but no, but that's really it's not really fair. You're coming in with all this emotional baggage that it's so
mhm.
traumatizing. This is almost like having PTSD, and you're just like, I'm not going to discuss this with you, but I
Mhm.
have this in me. But then I'm going to start having these weird triggers, and I'm going to start be popping off, and no one knows why.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, but that's neither here nor there. That's we can move out of this. We know what emotional cheating is. So let's keep to the basics of that. But you
Micro cheating. Have you heard of this
I
before?
did. I heard of micro cheating, and your definition of micro cheating is mine is quite different, but I think it's almost the same because mine is like the subtle acts of deception and betrayal. So they're very subtle. They don't mean to.
Mhm.
They either they purposely do it
Mhm.
or they don't purposely do it, right? So
Yeah.
it's like I think we said before, like you're regularly texting someone in secret that they find super attractive, right? That's kind of micro cheating, right?
I feel like it doesn't even have to be someone that they're attracted to. I feel like it could be anyone that who's giving them the attention that they like, you
Well,
know?
that and then also obsessively liking someone's posts that
Mhm.
they don't even know, but they really
Or
like.
they know.
But
Mhm.
9 out of 10 is probably somebody
That's
they
not
don't really
true.
know.
It's I think
Um,
it's very, very common that you keep liking a photo from somebody that you do know, and it's like, "Oh,
well,
well, I
I
know
don't
them."
think in this micro cheating sense is like
Mhm.
probably like some great celebrity or something where they just have an obsession or something, right? But you tell me what your version of micro cheating is though.
Yeah, I mean, for me, so what I've gathered is this micro cheating is like it's hard to defend, right? It's like, oh, I can't really get mad because it's not cheating, but it's making me uncomfortable.
Mhm.
It's making me feel a certain way where like I don't feel like I'm like 80% secure right now. That 20% is still out there. It's not bothering anybody, but it's still out there, you know?
Yeah.
And things like that can just if you don't have that 100%, like if you still have that 20% lingering around somewhere else, it can just really erode the relationship slowly. It's a slow erosion if it continues and it grows. And, it could start off with like liking someone's Instagram picture to like watching all their stories to like messaging and complimenting, say, "Hey, like, you look great." To like, it could end up developing somewhere.
Yeah, it says it's
Create
it's micro cheating,
yeah, and then
right?
also like, you have like a very friendly neighbor who's overly friendly with you and that person might like you and you have no interest in that person and you're married or you have a relationship but you entertain it, you entertain the little like quirks that she's giving or he's giving, and you entertain the little, like, subtle, like, things that, like, should be like, "Alright, thanks," and then walk away, but you sit there and you let it happen, that's a micro cheating situation. Or, like,
As
hitting
an
up.
ego boost or something too.
Yeah, yeah, but it's micro. It's small enough, but it's like, if I saw it, I'd be like, What why are you gotta sit there and, like, entertain it?" You know what I mean?
Some people
And
are
then,
just too
once is
nice.
fine, but, like, sometimes, like, some people can make it a habit. They like the attention a little too much. Um, or even, like, catching up with your ex all the time. Talking to your ex, I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" If you're in a relationship, and I don't know, I think exes belong in,
I don't think that's micro cheating. That's just straight up emotional cheating with your ex. Like, because they're what are you talking to your ex about?
I mean, that's the thing, like, you could talk about, I don't know, anything. You could both be in a relationship and talk about your relationships, but why are you talking to each other?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, it happens, and you can defend it. That's the thing. Like, you could defend and be like, "Well, nothing's happening. They have a person, and I have you. So we were just catching up." And it's
mm,
not. It's hard for me to be like, no, you're wrong, but you are. You know what I mean? Because even though nothing happened or it's happened in the past or whatever, it's still micro cheating.
yeah, I think it's just hard to defend. Like you said before, micro
Yeah.
cheating. It's just those little things, but you really should have these conversations when these little things are happening, right? And you're starting to see them over time
Yeah.
because you don't want it to get to a point to where it's going to drive you crazy. Like, if you're
Mhm.
saying, like, the neighbor and, the husband probably doesn't have any type of he doesn't ever care about that woman, but she's always entertaining him and probably helping with his ego, and you're like, "Oh, why do you keep entertaining her?"
Mhm.
And if he's like, "Oh, just because I just wanna be nice," or you can be like, "I think it's making me feel uncomfortable, maybe you
Mhm.
should stop." If he doesn't listen to what you're saying to him, then that's a bit of a problem and not taking that
Yeah.
into consideration.
Yeah, because that neighbor could one day wake up and be like, "Oh, like, I think he likes me," or you
No,
know what
I
I
watch
mean?
enough Fear Thy Neighbor to see that, and then they get obsessed.
Like you and your shows.
I watched that last night, and you get super obsessed, and they think they're in a relationship, then they're not in a relationship, next thing you know, you're gonna be dead. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Micro
So it's just, it's just like a little open window for anything, to tell you the truth, those little things.
Yeah, but I don't just make sure those little things don't
Mhm.
drive you crazy to where you're looking like a crazy lady. Like, just allow people to live life, but then something seems like it's getting really crazy over the line, then you need to address it. But I don't
Yeah.
want because then everyone's gonna think like every little thing. Like, you looked at that girl.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching something, and the girl got upset because he looked at another girl, and you're at a dance studio, and she's like, "How dare you dance with her?" But the dance teacher's trying to dance with both of you so you can teach you how to dance. But then she's like, "Well, you're cheating because you're with this woman and you're dancing too long with her."
Mm.
And you're like, "Okay, this is a lot." I was like, "This is a lot."
Yeah.
I'm like, you gotta kind of put some good boundaries here in place, you know?
Yeah, that's funny that you say that because I remember one time, and I didn't know it. I didn't. I learned definitely at the time, though. I remember going to a wedding with my ex, and my ex doesn't dance really. I
Mhm.
love to dance. That's like my favorite thing, and especially like Spanish music, like
Yeah.
salsa, merengue. Like, I love it,
Yeah.
right? And so we went to my friend's wedding, and they were playing like really good music, and he's not a dancer, and I had said something like. I was like, "Babe, do you mind if I go dance with Frank?" Like a friend, like a mutual friend of ours, right?
Mhm.
And for me at the time, I was like, it was just dancing, nothing. There was nothing there. I just wanted to dance. But he got so upset. He was just like, "Yeah, go dance with whoever." He was just like, "Go dance with all the guys around here." And I'm like, "Whoa." Like, I didn't realize, like, he has been hovering these little things, like, about, like, in my dream
Yeah.
in general, that, like, he kind of just exploded that day. And I didn't realize that was like
Well,
a
I think
bothersome thing.
I don't think it's a bothersome thing, but that was a bothersome thing to him
Mhm.
because if he's not a dancer, you legit asked him. I mean,
Mhm.
you shouldn't have to ask permission to do anything, but you out of respect for your boyfriend said, "Do you mind if I go dance with our mutual friend?" There's nothing that's
It
there.
was
There's
so
not.
it that's the thing, it wasn't his friend, it was my friend from, like, back in the day. It was, like, a group of us that, it was pre-ex-boyfriend, right, that we all knew each other, we used to hang out, And, the guy was single and the guy,
Yeah,
like,
but
it
you're in a
was
wedding. No one's out in here trying to hot pocket whatever out here on the side of that.
I
But
understand, but but, and I get it, and
yeah.
I would have reacted differently, but again, it's like, I didn't catch his cue. For him, that was bothersome. For him, that was like a version of micro cheating that even though I didn't do anything and I asked permission, like, it's still like a boundary for him.
I
You know
mean,
what I
but he
mean?
didn't outright say it to you, so you're not supposed to be out here trying to play guessing games. So if that was something that really bothered him, I mean, granted, he did say it abrasively, like, "Oh, go dance with whoever else." If you put two and two together, like, "Oh, he's upset."
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, you're seeing that as cheating. But as a grown man who can use his words, as he
Right.
told you to go dance with X, Y, and Z, he could say, "I don't want you to dance with that person because it makes me feel uncomfortable." Cool. You're gonna respect that, but you're not here to be decoding that. But it is his version of micro
Yeah.
cheating. But you got to communicate that.
Yeah, and
And
that was the
honestly,
fail there, right?
yeah,
Like, the communication was
it
lack
was,
thereut,
yeah,
right? Like, it
and
was there
till
was
he was upset, and then you're
right,
like,
and
I,
I'm really like, that's a
yeah,
whole I'm not gonna even
no,
get into that, but I
but you're,
taking this topic into that situation, I'm like, "Okay."
yeah, but
Like,
yeah, you
that's
express that, like
yeah.
this is what you consider, and that's where you have these healthy conversations, like what
Mhm.
are boundaries for you, and what are not, and then you guys just work around it. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, ugh,
Yeah.
mm.
So I also I also looked up like read into like this whole micro cheating thing and then, apparently fantasizing is micro cheating as well and obviously you can't control anybody's thoughts. That's like, that's always never it's never going to be something that
I was gonna say, how are you gonna know what they're thinking?
well, it's not about knowing about what they are thinking. It's about you yourself and like how and show and like how invested you are in the relationship. So, if you're like constantly fantasizing or again like with the porn, if you're constantly looking for something more, or something different or something, you're looking around, your eyes are wandering, nothing's happening, you're in the relationship, you're you haven't done anything, but you're constantly in that mindset, like you're not being present anymore. You're actually not that you're not being present anymore, you're becoming less present in the relationship. And sometimes when you nurture that, it's like it just starts to grow and grow and grow. So, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, you as an individual, like, if you're committed, be committed in the
And I
relationship,
think
be
you're still,
present.
you always are. I think that those are correct, but I don't think because someone watches porn that's micro cheating, that they're fantasizing. I think it could bring something different into the relationship, that they're probably looking at
Or
that to
not,
break into the
though.
relationship.
It could, but it or not. It could also ignite something else that you feel that's lacking now.
Okay, well, you know what? Stop looking at this micro cheating research, because it's got you going down this whole rabbit hole, and it's
I'm
gonna be
just I
like a
mean,
lot of.
it's a conversation.
I mean,
It's
it's a
really out there.
conversation, but it's also like, I mean, you're taking into like, you're like fantasy. Like everyone fantasizes about things, but if you become obsessive with anything, even if it's the fantasy or thought of anything, that's where it's going to be a fault. But like when you threw me for a loop when you said fantasies, I was like, what? Like,
Fantasizing, yeah, like, even, like, fantasizing about, like, the hot coworker or whatever all the time. Like, it's no one's gonna know about it. Your partner's definitely not gonna know about it. But now, like, you know, you know about that. And, like, do you wanna be consistently fantasizing or do you wanna be present in the
no,
relationship?
no. Of course, you want to be present in a relationship, but making that as a part of micro cheat, I just.
I mean, it's in there. It's what's defined. It's another version.
All right, let's move
It's
on to the next one. I'm over micro cheating now. It's like micro cheating is
I
so
mean,
enough.
I just wanna make sure, the everything is a point of view, you know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
yeah, it is. That's
Yeah.
well then this is a good one then. Taking a break in your relationship and engaging with someone else. Doing the
I
break.
was on a break!
Is that
For any of my friends, lovers, I have been so sad for the past few days because of Matthew Perry. I'm so sad. Chandler Bing. But anyways, I gotta reference Friends because that was a huge episode. It was a cultural phenomenon with that episode because there's a lot of people who either agree with Ross that it was okay for him to cheat because he was on a break with Rachel Green, or people agree with Rachel Green that you know what, like no, you're a cheater. Like we were on a break, but it was just a small break. We were still gonna get back together. We just needed time apart for a second. And
So that was a big thing. So
yeah.
I didn't watch
So
it,
are we
but
team Ross or team Rachel?
I'm team Ross because you were not together.
I'm team Rachel all day.
No,
All
because we're
day.
not gonna play this game of we're breaking up, but we think and hypothetically we're gonna get back together. We're grown-ups. If I am on a break with you, we're no longer together. You're free to do whatever you wanna do. This is not
But
called,
it's
"Oh, I'm on a break, but we may get back together. We may not get back together," but then you go
no, see,
like,
that's a
no.
break up. That's not a break. That's a break up. A break is you are together. We need some time apart for a second.
You just break up. You're not breaking. You're
No,
not no. I'm team Ross all day on this. Like, no.
no, no. It was a
No.
break. It was a break because Ross, 'cause I know that you're not like a Friends watcher, but Ross was head over heels for Rachel. He wanted her back. Like he wanted to fix the relationship and this and that. And for him to go ahead and like sleep with someone else in the 24-hour break that they had, like
But when you say people say they're on the break, then you wind up breaking up. Like, I just you're just setting yourself up for straight up failure all day, every day.
I mean, some
What
people
are you
need a
like in
break.
high school? We're not in high
Well,
school.
some people need a break.
Well, you
Some
need a break. Let's just break up and you just figure out your break and do what you got to do. Because whatever you do within
Mhm.
that break that we're not together, and that may go from 24 hours or to 6 months or to a year,
Mhm.
that's cool. Do you? I'm gonna do me. I'm not gonna harbor any emotions because we're on a break. Like I don't.
So you would be okay if you had like I mean, you're more of a breakup person. So there's no breaks in your kind of
No, and even if
relationship.
I did say let's have a break, what you do in between that break, I don't even know the next time I'm gonna get back to with you. So no, I don't. You do what you want to do because I literally just let you go as a person because I said you need a break, which means
Mm.
you need to do what you need to do to work on yourself. I'm gonna do what I need to do, and if we make this circle back again to get back
Oh,
together out
see,
of this
I think
break,
differently.
I would
Yeah.
be like no. But that's the beauty of it, right? So I'm
Mm.
Team Ross all day.
No, I feel like the break is like a mental break. It's not to prove that I could do whatever I want, that we have ownership or anything like that. For me, it's more of like we need to take a step back and just recalibrate and see like what we want out of this relationship and how we want to
Let's just
develop
go to
it.
therapy.
Sometimes you just need the 24 hours. Sometimes you just need the
Are you
couple
putting a time
days.
limit when you say you're going on this break? We're gonna be
Well, it
breaking up. We're
depends on
gonna
the
take a break for 24 hours, or are
no.
you saying we're gonna take a break until you feel
It
better than I feel
depends on the
better?
relationship. It depends on the nature of the situation. It's not just like a set
So it's
time.
still open ended.
No, but it's also like again, you communicate that or we're taking a break, just I need some time to think about things. I'm not saying I need some time to go mess around with someone else. I just need time to think about
I'm not
things.
saying, but if they do mess around with someone else, that's their thing. But they can do whatever in this
If they
break.
do, for me, if they do, then that just proves like, you know what? That's what you want. That's what you
But
need
if
and
you're,
and now it becomes a breakup.
but my thing is, if you're not, you have an open ended break right now. You just told me you have not said I'm gonna break. We're gonna break for 24 hours. We're not gonna break for a month. You just said it's open ended. How do you know how long it's gonna
Well, I
take
mean,
him
I
to do
didn't say
this?
it was open. I was like, it depends on the
Okay,
situation. I
so
said, it depends on how severe, how much time we really
I mean, but
need.
you're gonna give each other that because are you? I'm asking you, are
Yeah,
you
I mean,
giving each other a time frame? Or
you
you're not
can.
saying you're not giving each other a time frame? That's
Yeah,
what I need to
if
know.
we say we need a break and it's like open ended for a while, then yeah, that's more of a breakup. Okay, that constitutes a
But I'm
breakup.
saying like when you communicate
But
with
even if
someone
you have
saying
like
I need a break, do you
mhm.
say to that person, I need a break. Give me at least a week, and we can let's circle back around in a week. Or you're saying I just need a break, and that person's supposed to read your mind of when you're going to be done with your
No,
break to come
you
back to
you
them.
talk, but sometimes you're like, I need a break for a couple days,
Okay, so now you gave me a time frame,
and
a
then the
couple of
couple of
days.
days comes by, and you're like, look, I need some time. This is what's going on. This is what are things that I'm thinking about. Are you willing to work on that? No. Okay, I think we need to either break up or figure it out.
Well, now that's different because now
Hmm.
you've communicated that you've had some time blocks in there. I had a couple of days, and we reached out again. We're doing this. When you said you had me thinking like you say a break, you're not saying anything. It's open ended. I just need a break. I need my time. You do what you do. I do what I do. But 9 times out of
No.
10, if
Hmm.
I'm saying I need a break and I don't give you a time frame on that, do what you got to do. But 9 times
Yeah.
out of 10, I'm not like yeah no. But I was still hands down Team Ross. But that's neither here nor there.
Oh, Team Rachel all day.
And so that comes back
All
to you.
day.
Do you come back from a situation like that? Depends on which way the situation you took it. Mm.
I mean, for Ross and Rachel, it did come back, for anybody who watched the show, they did marry happily ever after or whatever. But I think again, yeah, it was like it's pretty hard. Like if we were on a break and like I heard that you had hoed around during that break, then yeah, no, I don't think I can like, just accept that. I'm sorry. Like we were in a relationship. We weren't the plan was not to break up. The plan was just to take some space and just recalibrate. And that
As long as you communicate that,
I
that's fine. I
yeah.
think if not,
I mean,
you're gonna be I
if there's love, there's love. That's how I see it. If the love
it's
is deep
communication.
rooted,
It's love and communication. If you're not
yeah.
communicating clearly,
Mhm.
that's when you mess up.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let's move on. So you have social media. Ugh. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think social media? How is that like?
I mean, like, social media can create that gray line, back to, like, this gray area of cheating. Like, I think it can definitely entice some cheating mechanisms,
Mm,
whether it's a micro cheating or full blown, like, let's meet up
mm,
and
it's true.
and do things, it's still a tool to use that same as like a dating app. So,
I mean, but are you actually checking that person's like Insta or like? I mean, because now I'm like, because you wouldn't really know, really. I mean, unless you're on their Instagram or like if you know how many likes they've been liking, what they've been, because I wouldn't really know. So how would you know?
um,
Like, yeah, how would you know?
I think you would know. Well, to be quite honest, like once you get into this feeling of like there's something that you're not trusting, then I think
Mm,
you get the tendencies to check. You're like,
mm,
let me see what's going on. Or you even like checking from
mm,
your own phone, like going into his profile and seeing like the kind of friends that he has. Or because like even when I date, like when I start dating somebody, like right off the bat and we exchange Instagrams, like
mhm.
I kind of want to see what your life is about. Like that's why we exchange Instagrams because like let's see the kind of friends you are, let's see what you like to do, and let's see like who's following you and who are you
Oh, this is
following, you
when
know
you're
what I
doing the
mean?
investigation of this person, but then
But
like,
I'm just saying you could still do that while you're in a relationship if you start to feel those feelings, you could
oh, but you're
you can
feeling.
reinvestigate.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like, I mean, I guess if you're feeling the feelings, but initially if you're not feeling, okay, I get it. So you're
Yeah.
gonna feel the feelings, and if you are, you need to go and look on their
Yeah,
Insta and
and
you see
those
what stories they viewed.
and sometimes like the feeling, that feeling the feelings, it could be a unhealthy one, right?
Mm.
You can be already in an unhealthy space where now you're like checking his phone and you're just like fishing for things.
Oh, that's kind
And
of messed up. Well, okay,
I mean, yeah, but it happens, you know what I mean? But that's because you're
you're having some insecurities on your own part.
exactly.
Okay, all
Exactly.
right. So don't take that
Mhm.
advice. I like that you have your LinkedIn requesting. Who's out here checking up?
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not gonna name any names,
Who's out
but
here on LinkedIn
uh,
requesting?
I had my moments. I had my moments of like, not trusting someone,
Oh,
my ex, and it came down to that. I'm like he was LinkedIn. Long story short, like he was talking to his coworker like in that manner, and I saw it on LinkedIn, and it just spiraled from there.
Lord
So
Jesus.
yeah, yeah.
All right, and then
Yeah, he ended up
erase
changing her name to Ken. I'm like, "You don't know no Kens."
Ken.
Yeah,
No one knows a Ken.
no,
That's not a real name. It's
stupid.
like Barbie.
He's such an idiot.
And then erasing search engines. I don't think I've ever looked at anyone else's erasing search engine.
Well,
I
that's, when you get to that point, right? Like, when you're, like,
I don't think
erasing
I've never gotten to that point.
yeah.
I don't know. Only time I erase my
That's because you've never been cheated on. So, I've been
no.
cheated on. I've gotten to that point.
Where you just started looking at all these
Yeah,
cues.
yeah, like, like, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I love you so much, but I don't trust you." And it's sad to be there, but I was there.
Okay,
So,
that's a big one.
lucky you.
Oh yeah. So then, the consequences of cheating, though. Of course, I mean, we've gone over a lot, right? What
Mhm,
constitutes as cheating, all the different types of cheating. Um, really, like, I think in a nutshell, what are the consequences for cheating? Of
mhm.
course, the main one is always going to be trust issues.
Right.
Trust is what a relationship is built on, the
Yeah.
foundation of that and communication. And, it will be very hard, and I think we said at the beginning of the episode, to rebuild that trust.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it yeah, it creates, it's a big red flag, when you start feeling those things, and you have to try to catch those red flags early on.
Mhm.
Um, unfortunately, like, all of us have, like, deep-rooted issues, it's some from somewhere. It doesn't have to be cheating, it could be other things that can be triggered, but cheating is the more common one.
Mhm.
And so when you get involved with somebody and there's cheating involved, those deep-rooted issues that you have revolving around cheating just gets validated even more. And so now, like, you're not only validating that cheating scenario, but you're going into the next relationship and any future relationships with even deeper wounds that are gonna just retract you in being in a healthy relationship. So I think that, that's the unfortunate consequences when cheating's involved in a relationship, that, it's just gonna be a revolving door of issues, and they just get stronger and stronger as you encounter these kind of relationships, so, or situations.
Mm. And it can end to the yeah, and I think you're right, like, does end it can lead to the end of a relationship. I
Mhm.
mean, but you can work on it too, like, right? It could
Mhm.
either like you have here, you can make it for the better or worse. Um, but like you said, both of you have to really want this. Um,
Yeah.
and if you don't both want this, and if you can't see yourself getting over the cheating that this person did and forgive them,
Mhm.
you should just walk away from that relationship because you're just going to be in that quicksand, right? You're gonna keep always
Yeah.
mentally in your head playing the same thing over and over again of like, "Oh, he cheated, he must be doing this again," and you're not gonna
Mhm.
feel good with yourself.
No, no, you're not, and, I think that, it's again, like I said before, it's just it's gonna be, like, just a lot of work for
Mhm.
everybody, not only for you guys, like, love is there, and, like, but love isn't enough all the time, and so it just takes a lot more work than you can imagine when you're really trying to figure it out. And then some, relationships, they make it better. They take that scenario, that cheating scenario, and, like, they do turn it around. There is hope. It can work out if the work's put in. Um but it's not ideal, but you can, if two people are in agreement with wanting to be with each other, with making it like making turning this situation into an opportunity to get closer, to get to know each other, to find the rooted reasons of why you treated to begin with, and what can I do to change, and what you can do to change, and just kind of really, like, get stronger. Then, yeah, then it's pretty magical at that point if you can get through that. So,
No, I think
um
it's well spoken. I have
mhm.
nothing on that, but I think, final thoughts for this episode though, because it's a lot, right?
Mhm.
Everyone's gonna take from what they take from it, what they consider infidelity, maybe completely different. Like we both
Mhm.
have known, we both realized during this episode what we think is cheating and our different boundaries.
Mhm.
But I think you definitely need to have that conversation off the bat
Mhm.
of what your boundaries are and what you think is cheating. And if you
Mhm.
do have like some of this emotional baggage from a past relationship where you have been cheated on and you know the triggers of that's going to make you want to go look through all these things, you should be upfront with that and not let that
Mhm.
don't let that build up inside of you to where you're doing some
Mhm.
all of a sudden it explodes on that person. They did not know that these are those type of
Mhm.
triggers that's going to help that not going to help that's going to set you off.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, and just have those conversation and
Right.
if you do get cheated on, you really got to sit down and think about what you guys want
Mhm.
after that.
Yeah, yeah, and, the thing is, like, there has to be a lot of, patience, if you do wanna work on things, then, first of all, it has to be a very thoughtful apology, a thoughtful,
Mhm.
honest confession. And you have to be consistent, and the consistency is the hardest thing. You have to be consistent, always being patient, because there's like a cheating scenario in a relationship, you're taking a lot of steps back, and sometimes when you move forward, you move back again. It's a constant like balancing. You're moving forward, but it's still like rocking back and forth. And so, being really patient and consistent with your actions and your validations, and really wanting to work it out is really important.
Mhm.
And then from there, that's when you can start, once you like pass that hurdle, then you can start redeveloping your relationship to what you want it to be, what you both want it to be, and like rediscovering like each other, and rediscovering how you want to see how you want to see this relationship going forward, and creating new intimacy versions of yourself. So you're adapting to this new you, this new couple. Um, so it's important to, to learn how to mourn, right? To mourn what happened,
Mhm.
mourn the situation, and then rebuild from there, like we do with everything else in
Yeah,
life.
grieve the process
Yes,
and just
definitely.
rebuild on top of it.
Yep. Yep.
So, those are the great areas of cheating.
Yeah.
It's a lot of food for thought,
Yeah.
but really think about it and, just know that, cheating isn't the end, depending on
Mhm.
the situation, and that, you can always come back from that. It's like
Yeah.
the phoenix rising.
Yes. Exactly.
All right, well, I think that's it.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was a good
I
one.
hope we all got something out of it.
I'm sure they did. Team Ross all day.
Team Rachel Green. They were on a break. That does not mean that you can sleep with someone else. Sorry.
Bye.
Bye.